Let me ask you something. What if your dreams are dying not because you lack talent, but because you're too casual with your time and too soft with your purpose? In a world that's constantly demanding your attention, there's only one way to rise. Be ruthless with your time. Be relentless with your purpose. This isn't motivation. It's a wake-up call. Step #1. Time is life. Wasted time is wasted. Potential time is the most precious resource you will ever have. Not money, not connections, not even talent. Because without time, none of those things can be used. Every second that passes is a slice of your life you'll never get back. It's not just a clock ticking. It's you ticking, your potential, your growth, your dreams. All of it is tied directly to how you spend your time, and yet we throw hours away like they're unlimited. We scroll, we procrastinate, we put off decisions, thinking we've got forever, but we don't. Think about it. Every minute you spend on something meaningless is a minute you didn't spend building, creating, loving, learning, or moving closer to who you're meant to be. Time isn't neutral. It either compounds into purpose or slips into regret. It either works for you or it turns against you. People talk about wasting time like it's no big deal, but wasted time is wasted life, plain and simple. When you waste time, you're not just being lazy or distracted. You are actively choosing to bury your own potential. You're letting your future self down. You're letting your goals decay in real time. That fire you once had, it dims. That vision, it fades, not because it wasn't meant for you, but because you didn't protect the hours that could have brought it to life. Time doesn't stop because you're tired. It doesn't pause when you're unsure. It doesn't wait while you second, guess or scroll or sit in self-doubt. It moves forward whether you're ready or not. And the truth is, most people don't realize the cost of wasted time until it's gone. Until the opportunity has passed, the energy is depleted, and the moment is nothing but a memory. That's why the people who achieve greatness, the ones who truly live out their calling, they treat time like it's sacred, because to them it is. Step #2. Discipline is the doorway to freedom. Discipline is often misunderstood. People hear the word and think of restriction, of rigidity, of a life with no spontaneity or joy. But the truth is, discipline isn't a cage. It's the key to the very freedom most people are chasing. Without discipline, you are a slave to your impulses, your moods, and your excuses. You wake up every day pulled in every direction, reacting instead of creating, surviving instead of leading. You want to be free to travel, to create, to build, to succeed. But none of that happens without discipline. Discipline is the structure that holds up your dreams. It's the silent promise you make to yourself day after day that says, I will show up, no matter what. And it's in that showing up, when it's boring, when it's hard, when no one is watching, that real power is built. Every disciplined decision is a vote for the person you're becoming. Every time you say no to temporary comfort in favor of long-term progress, you build self-trust. And self-trust is freedom, because when you trust yourself to follow through, you stop living in fear. You stop questioning your ability to rise. You know you've got your own back. The people who look the most free, the entrepreneurs, the athletes, the artists, the high performers, they didn't get there by winging it. They earned that freedom through years of committed effort. They built systems. They showed restraint. They kept promises to themselves when no one else was holding them accountable. That's what most people miss. Freedom doesn't come from avoiding discipline. It comes from embracing it so deeply that it becomes a part of who you are. It becomes your edge, your rhythm, your power source. Discipline is waking up early when your bed is warm and your dreams are louder than your snooze button. Discipline is saying no to distractions that feel good in the moment but steal your momentum. Discipline is putting in reps when the results aren't immediate. It's the decision to choose growth over gratification, vision over validation, mastery over mediocrity. And it's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Discipline doesn't mean you don't fall. It means you don't stay down. It means you reset, refocus, and keep moving forward. Not out of motivation, but out of identity. You are the kind of person who does what's necessary, period. The more disciplined you become, the less you depend on motivation, willpower, or circumstance. You stop waiting for ideal conditions. You start creating them. You take control of your schedule, your habits, your thoughts, and in doing so, you unlock a level of freedom most people will never taste. Step #3. Purpose gives pain. A payoff. Pain is inevitable. Life will throw you setbacks, challenges, disappointments, and heartbreak. No one escapes that. But what separates those who rise from those who fold isn't whether they experience pain, it's what that pain means to them. When you're living without purpose, pain feels like punishment. It feels random, unfair, heavy, it drains you, it breaks you. But when you're driven by purpose, pain transforms into something entirely different. It becomes fuel. It becomes a test, a sharpening tool, a necessary part of the path forward. Purpose gives pain a reason to exist. Think about it. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, you can endure almost any struggle, the late nights, the rejections, the criticism, the internal doubts. They don't crush you because you understand they're part of it. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you start thinking, this is building me for what I've been called to do. That shift in mindset changes everything. Purpose puts your pain in context. It puts the suffering on a timeline and attaches it to something bigger than just the moment you're in. Instead of feeling like a victim, you start to feel like a warrior on a mission. People without purpose tend to run from pain. They avoid challenges. They numb themselves, distract themselves, or blame the world for their discomfort. But people with purpose lean into the fire. They don't enjoy the pain, but they respect it, because they know what it's doing. It's chiseling them. It's teaching them endurance, patience, grit, and clarity. Purpose reframes the discomfort. That workout isn't punishment, it's preparation. That failure isn't a dead end, it's a redirection. That season of silence or isolation isn't a loss, it's refinement. When you've got a purpose, you don't need the process to be easy. You just need it to be worth it. Purpose gives your pain boundaries. It gives it limits. It ensures that no suffering is wasted, no delay is pointless, and no failure is final. Pain by itself just wears you down, but pain tied to a mission builds you up. It stretches your capacity and deepens your resilience. Suddenly, you're not just surviving the storm, you're becoming something inside of it. And the beauty is, the more you walk through pain with purpose, the more unshakable you become. You don't crumble under pressure. You rise. You don't give up in the valley. You build momentum. Purpose teaches you that pain isn't the enemy. Purposelessness is. Because pain without direction is torment, but pain with direction, that's power. Step #4. Say no to 99 things to say why yes to your vision. We live in a world addicted to yes. Yes to opportunities, yes to invitations, yes to distractions disguised as productivity. And in the flood of all these yeses, people lose sight of what actually matters. The truth is, if you want to build something legendary, if you want to bring your vision to life, you're going to have to become ruthless with what you allow into your world. Not everything deserves your energy. Not every opportunity is aligned with your destiny, and not every good thing is your thing. There's this lie that says the more open you are, the more successful you'll be, but the opposite is true. The most successful, focused, driven people have mastered the art of saying no, not out of arrogance, but out of clarity, because they know every yes carries a cost: time, energy, attention. None of those are infinite. If you spend your days chasing everything, you'll end up achieving nothing. You can't be all things to all people and still be true to yourself. That's why saying no isn't a rejection, it's a redirection. It's saying I'm not available for anything that dilutes my purpose. It's not about being busy, it's about being intentional. You could fill your schedule from morning till midnight with meetings, tasks, and distractions that feel important, but in reality, they're just noise. The real game is in the discipline to filter, to discern what aligns with your vision and what doesn't, to understand that your future requires sacrifice, and most of the time that sacrifice isn't pain, it's prioritization. When your vision is crystal clear, you begin to see everything through a new lens. Does this serve my mission? Does this take me closer to the life I'm building or pull me away from it? You realize that every yes you give to something misaligned is a no to your progress, your peace, and your purpose. And often, it's not the bad stuff that derails people, it's the almost good stuff, the tempting detours. The opportunities that sound exciting but aren't deeply aligned. These are the things that rob you blind in broad daylight. Saying no to 99 things doesn't make you closed off. It makes you focused. It creates space. And in that space, clarity grows, creativity breathes, momentum builds. You begin to operate with precision, with intention, with power. You stop scattering your energy in 1,000 directions and start channeling it like a laser toward the one thing that actually matters, the vision that was placed on your heart. It's not easy. People will misunderstand you. They'll say you've changed. They'll wonder why you're not as available, not as flexible, not as eager to please. But that's part of the process. You don't get to live an uncommon life while operating with common habits. You weren't made to blend in. You were built to build, and builders need boundaries. Builders need focus. Builders need to say no far more often than they say yes, because they understand something most people don't. Every yes comes with a trade-off. Step #5. Relentless pursuit beats natural talent. Natural talent is seductive. It draws admiration. It turns heads. It creates an illusion that success is gifted, not earned. But talent without action is wasted potential. It's unused power. It's a tool left on a shelf. What separates the truly great from the merely gifted isn't how naturally good they are at something. It's how relentlessly they chase mastery. The people who win over the long term aren't always the most talented, but they are the most obsessed. They show up when others are sleeping. They grind when others are coasting. They push past boredom, past failure, past rejection, again and again, because they're driven by something deeper than just ability. They're driven by commitment. Relentless pursuit is about hunger. It's about grit. It's the decision to close the gap between where you are and where you want to be, regardless of how long it takes or how hard it gets. It doesn't care if someone else got a head start. It doesn't care if you were counted out, overlooked, or underestimated. When you pursue something relentlessly, you become dangerous because you don't quit. You don't stall out when it gets tough. You don't stop when it gets slow. You adapt, you refine, you evolve, and over time you surpass the ones who were once ahead of you simply because you refuse to stop climbing. Talent may open doors, but it's the relentless ones who kick them down. While the naturally gifted wait for inspiration, the relentless get to work. While others are debating, the relentless are doing. It's that steady, consistent, almost obsessive level of pursuit that compounds over time. It's not flashy. It's not always pretty, but it's unbreakable. You can't coach hunger. You can't teach obsession. That's something that burns inside, something that won't let you settle. You see someone else with more talent. Good. Let that fuel you. Let that sharpen your focus, because talent can make someone complacent, but relentless pursuit. That makes you inevitable. Every break through you've ever admired started with someone who refused to be outworked. The ones who break records, who shift industries, who rise from nothing, they may not be the most naturally gifted, but they've got something stronger. They've got the discipline to keep showing up and the endurance to outlast everyone else. The world doesn't remember who almost made it. It remembers who finished the race, who got back up, who kept pressing forward when it would have been easier to turn around. That's what relentless pursuit looks like. It's not always glamorous, but it's always real. It's the dirt, the grind, the sweat, the late nights, the early mornings. It's doing the work when no one's clapping, when no one sees you, when no one believes in you. Except you. Step #. Legacy over comfort. Comfort is seductive. It whispers to you, telling you you've done enough, that you deserve a break, that tomorrow is just as good as today. And slowly, without realizing it, people start trading their future for short-term ease. They settle into routines that keep them safe, habits that keep them average, and mindsets that keep them small. But legacy isn't built in comfort. Legacy is forged in the fire of discomfort, in the places where most people quit, where most people turn back, where most people say, "That's good enough." But if you're chasing a life of impact, if you're trying to build something that outlives you, then good enough is never good enough. Legacy means you're not just living for now. You're living for what lasts. It means you're playing a bigger game. It's not about the next weekend or the next vacation. It's about the next generation. It's about what your name will stand for long after you're gone. And that kind of impact requires sacrifice. It demands consistency. It calls for decisions that won't always feel good in the moment, but are rooted in long-term purpose. Because legacy isn't about flash, it's about foundation. It's about the quiet, daily grind, the choices no one sees, the moments you show up when it would have been easier to check out. Comfort keeps you in the same loop, same thoughts, same actions, same results. But legacy demands evolution. It demands growth, and growth never happens inside your comfort zone. Growth happens when you stretch, when you're under pressure, when you're tested. It happens in the late nights when you're still working, in the early mornings when you're training, in the difficult conversations you choose to have, in the battles you face without applause. Legacy lives in those moments. Choosing legacy over comfort is choosing the uncomfortable path with the bigger payoff. It's choosing to keep going when no one's watching. It's saying no to immediate gratification so you can build something that matters. It's taking ownership of your time, your habits, your mindset. Not because it's easy, but because what you're building matters. It's understanding that the real reward isn't the trophy. It's becoming the person who earned it. Most people want the results without the resistance, but the resistance is where the power is. It's where the depth is. It's where your edge is carved. Legacy is never built by those who always choose the easy route. It's built by those who are willing to be uncomfortable today so they can leave something powerful behind tomorrow. It's the voice inside that says, I didn't come this far to live a life of ease. I came to make a difference. It's a mindset, a standard, a level of commitment that demands more from you and gives even more back to the world. It requires vision when others can't see it. It requires action when others hesitate. It requires a fire that doesn't die out when the path gets hard, but burns even brighter. So now the question isn't whether you're capable. It's whether you're committed. Are you ready to stop playing small with your time, your energy, your purpose? Are you done giving yourself half effort and calling it good enough? Because everything you want, every breakthrough, every goal, every legacy, level impact lives on the other side of discipline, focus, and an unbreakable standard. You don't need more time. You need more intention. You don't need more motivation. You need relentless execution, and you don't need to be the most talented. You need to be the one who won't quit, the one who shows up, the one who gets clear, gets focused, and gets after it, day after day. So be ruthless with your time because it is your life. Be relentless with your purpose because it's your power. And remember, comfort might feel good for a moment, but legacy lasts forever.